Financial management includes money management. That means the actual spending and savings of money. We have some tips for your clients, but first a few tips for your agency. Language access. The agency must have housing counselors who are fluent in the language of the clients they serve, or they must use the services of an interpreter, or make a reasonable effort to refer that client to another agency to meet their needs. When charging fees, if they choose to charge fees, the agency must conform to these guidelines. No charge to persons who cannot afford the fees. Fees must be reasonable and customary for that area. No fee for service that is already funded with the HUD grant funds, and disclose all fees that will be charged to the client prior to the beginning of counseling services. Now on to money management for your clients. The first thing is to develop a monthly budget. So we're going to look at the monthly net household income minus the total monthly expenses, and that will give us the remaining monthly balance, or sometimes known as disposable income, if there is some. If there is positive disposable income, then we need to look to helping our clients putting that money towards either savings, an emergency fund, paying down a credit card, or applying those funds towards short-term or long-term goals. If that disposable income is actually negative, then we need to find ways to help our client shave some expenses. Expenses include both fixed and variable or flexible expenses, such as in the area of fixed expenses, rent, mortgage, second mortgage, car truck payment, health and life insurance, child support, and alimony. More flexible expenses include food and groceries, school lunches, doctors, dentists, and prescriptions. There are also periodic expenses such as property and real estate taxes, home insurance, renter's insurance, car insurance, and license plates and registration. Typically we see that these payments are 1 to 2 times a year. In creating an emergency fund, clients should actually look to save at least enough for 6 months of living expenses. Many folks ask, why? Well, quite frankly, it's because it can take 6 to 8 months to find a job that replaces their current income. We don't need to look too far to see all the competition in the marketplace today due to job layoffs and folks coming out of college. So in managing our money specifically, there's a few tips here for our clients to take a look at. They first need to build that adequate emergency fund of 6 months or more. Then pay down credit card debts and higher interest rate personal debts. At least clients should be encouraged to make the minimum monthly payments, and if there's extra money, then they can start putting it towards those credit card debts or debts with the highest interest rate first. Save for short-term goals. Maybe the clients are looking to obtain more work clothes or get away for a short weekend to celebrate their accomplishments. Whatever their short-term goal is, they need to write it down and make sure that once those personal debts are eliminated, funds can now go towards their short-term goals. There's also long-term goals. Depending on their income level, they may want to save for an education, a new car, a home, or even retirement. All of those are reasons to be saving and investing for long-term goals. But goals are only as good as we set them up properly. So how do we set up goals? We set them up SMART. Now, don't take offense, that's just an acronym to stand for for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals. So in order to make our goals truly effective, they should have each one of those elements to them. They are specific, they are measurable, they're achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So let's look at a particular goal and see how we can convert it into an actual SMART goal. The statement is, I will save enough money to buy a house. Well, that's pretty generic, so let's apply the SMART acronym to that. The first letter, S, is specific. How much money will you save to buy a house? Specifically, I will save $5,000. Terrific. We've got the specific down. Next letter is M for measurable. How do we measure it? Well, I am going to put away $150 a month every month for the next 3 years into a special savings account. All right, I can measure that. I will either be putting away $150 a month, or I will not be, or I'll be putting away $75, but I can measure whether or not I have met that goal for the month. The next letter is A for achievable. Is this achievable? Yes, it is. I'm actually saving right now $200 a month. So out of that $200, I will put away $150 into that specified savings account to buy a house. Is this a relevant goal? That's the next letter, R. Is this relevant? Of course it's relevant because right now I'm renting and I am saving up nothing for myself and my family. So it's very important to me that I own a home versus rent that home and actually be applying my money towards something that I will eventually own. So that is relevant. And T is time bound. This means when exactly are you going to do it? Well, I am going to have that $5,000 saved by July 31st, 2017. Now I've applied the SMART acronym to my goal to ensure that indeed I can meet this goal and I have a game plan to get there. Have you ever heard of the rule of 72? Some folks are looking to figure out how long it takes to double their money. Well, the rule of 72 helps us with that. So let's say you know the rate. That's option 1. So to see how long it will take to double your money from $500 to $1,000, and you already know the rate, take 72 and divide by the interest rate. So the example below assumes an 8% interest rate. 72 divided by 8, which is the interest rate, takes 9 years. So in order for that $500 to double to $1,000 at 8% interest rate, that's the equation. So obviously the interest rate here is very important. But what if I, instead of knowing the rate, I know the number of years? That's option 2. So let's say I have that same $500 and I want to double it instead of 9 years, I want to double it in 6 years. Well, now you take 72, divide by 6, equals 12. That is the interest rate you're going to need to earn in order to double your money from $500 to $1,000 in 6 years' time. You will need a 12% interest rate. Here's how we measure wealth when it comes to our money. We take all of our assets and we subtract all of our liabilities, and hopefully that gives us a positive net worth. Or you may hear the term a net economic position that is positive. So, of course, assets are things that have or accumulate value. Debts are things that hinder our financial wealth. Certainly, we're looking to create more assets than liabilities. And it's very important that our agency and we as counselors create a network of referrals for related services. We look at the integrated service delivery model, and it deals with household finances holistically and in a comprehensive manner. So in the process of providing financial counseling, counselors may uncover other client needs that are way beyond the scope of the service of their own organization. So to assist that client further, it's really helpful to have a network of referrals for these related services. And if you turn to page 22 of your manual, you'll note that many services may include education, workforce development, financial counseling, small business development, and housing or health. Can you think of or give examples of services which would help your client but which your organization does not offer? HUD has very specific guidance for counselors and the agencies regarding referrals. So keep in mind to document referrals in your client's file. Offer a minimum of 3 options, and in the mortgage arena, at least make sure there's 1 FHA option. And you or your agency cannot have a monetary interest in the referral source. So certainly that would be a conflict of interest. But definitely having a referral network is a viable means to make sure that we're meeting the needs of our clients and that we as an agency get more referrals.